All right, guys, we have officially moved into phase two. And this phase is really about, the connection and the awakening part of it and what it is awakening. So I figured we would start here because there is a moment in certain connections where it stops feeling like you're just meeting another person and it starts feeling like you're meeting yourself. Not the version that you show the world, but the parts that you've hidden, avoided, or didn't even realize were there. And suddenly, this person isn't just in your life, they're reflecting everything back to you. So the question becomes, why does this connection feel like a mirror? So in this video, we're going to talk about what the mirror effect actually is, why certain people trigger you more than anyone else, and how this dynamic is less about them and more about what's happening within you. Because once you understand this, the entire connection starts to make sense. So the mirror effect is not about them being identical to you. And I know that's a lot that gets said on this journey is we mirror each other. It's about them activating what already existed within you. So they're going to reflect your wounds, your insecurities, your unmet needs, and your unexpressed parts. Not because they're trying to hurt you, but because something in their presence touches something unresolved within you. So when you feel triggered, emotional, reactive, attached, it's not random, it's reflective. You've met people before, but this one feels different because most connections stay on the surface. And this is one that goes deep immediately. There's less filtering, less distance, less emotional protection. So instead of slowly discovering each other, you're suddenly face to face with your fears, your patterns, your emotional responses, and it can feel overwhelming because it's not just about them, it's about what they bring out in you. Because every trigger carries information, but most of us don't see it that way. We think they made me feel this way, they caused this reaction, they're the problem. But the mirror effect asks a different question. And it really turns into, why did this affect me so deeply? Because the intensity of your reaction is pointing to something unresolved. For example, if you feel like they abandon you, there may be a wound around being left. If you feel like you're not chosen, there may be a need for validation. If you feel out of control, there may be fear underneath. You see, I thought I needed validation. I knew what this journey was. I had all of the evidence in front of me and I presented it as if it was some wild gesture of, look, this is what I know. And I needed them to validate. And I often said, you never agree nor disagree that we are twin flames. And I did not understand that even though I wasn't fully chasing them, I just needed a validation. You see what I'm saying? So the trigger isn't the problem, it's the pointer. And this is where discernment becomes important because not everything is a mirror. Sometimes behavior is just behavior. But here's the difference. Projection is when you assign meaning to them that comes from you. And reflection is when your reaction reveals something within you. So instead of asking, what are they doing to me? You begin asking, what is this showing me about myself? And that shift changes everything. Because in my situation, I needed to understand that I had never really been chosen. And I felt like I needed validation. And that shift changes everything because now I wasn't just reacting. I was aware of a pattern within myself. And that's where we're trying to get you to, is to notice each pattern. Because the mirror effect is not here to trap you in cycles. It's here to bring you into consciousness, to show you where you're still holding on to pain, where you're seeking outside validation, where you're disconnected from yourself. And once you see it, you have a choice. You can keep focusing on them, or you can start working with what's coming up inside of you. Because the real transformation doesn't happen through the connection. It happens through what the connection reveals. So yes, some people feel like mirrors, but not because they're your other half, because they activated the parts of you that are ready to be seen. And once you understand that, the connection stops being confusing and it starts becoming clarifying. So if this resonated with you, I want you to comment down below. I see what this is showing me. And if you're in a connection like this right now, don't just look at them. Look within yourself, because that's where your real answers are. And I will see you guys in the next video.